What if humanity's greatest mystery is not what exists somewhere far away in the stars, but what has been hidden inside the human mind all along? What if ancient teachings about consciousness, vibration, life, death, time, and the structure of reality were encoded into a mysterious body of wisdom associated with one of the most fascinating figures in ancient spiritual history? Thoth, keeper of knowledge, master of writing, guardian of cosmic law, and, according to the mystical tradition explored by Billy Carson, an Atlantean priest-king who carried advanced wisdom into ancient Egypt after the destruction of Atlantis. In Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, Billy Carson takes readers into a world of hidden chambers, sacred geometry, spiritual ascension, universal law, and the possibility that human consciousness is far more powerful than we have been taught. But what are the Emerald Tablets actually saying? Are they describing lost technology, a forgotten civilization, a guide to mastering the mind? Or are they symbolic teachings meant to awaken something deeper inside us? Tonight, we are breaking down the major teachings of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, tablet by tablet. We will explore Thoth, Atlantis, the halls of Amenti, magic, time, cause and effect, life and death, the mysteries of above and below, and the final secret hidden behind them all. But we will also do something essential. We will explore these teachings with both imagination and discernment, because wisdom is not found in blindly believing everything, and wisdom is not found in dismissing everything mysterious. Wisdom begins when we become willing to look deeper. Billy Carson is the founder of Forbidden Knowledge, a platform dedicated to ancient civilizations, hidden history, consciousness, spirituality, science, finance, and the mysteries of human existence. His book, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, A Beginner's Guide, is built around the longer mystical text known as the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. Carson's purpose is not simply to repeat the tablet writings. His approach is to decode them, to examine what they may be saying about consciousness, about energy, about sacred geometry, about multidimensional reality, about the hidden powers of the human mind, about the connection between ancient spiritual teachings and modern ideas involving science and technology. In the worldview explored through the compendium, Thoth is not merely a character from mythology. He becomes a teacher, a messenger from an advanced civilization, a guardian of wisdom, a figure attempting to help humanity remember laws that govern both the universe outside of us and the consciousness within us. The book's great invitation is this: what if you are not merely a physical body reacting to a material world? What if you are consciousness experiencing reality through a human form? What if thought, discipline, knowledge, and awareness are tools capable of changing the direction of your life? That is the foundation of this journey. But before exploring the tablets themselves, there is an important distinction to understand. When people speak about the Emerald Tablets, they often blend together two different traditions. The historical Emerald Tablet is a short Hermetic text associated with Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary wisdom figure connected with the Greek Hermes and the Egyptian Thoth. That short text became influential in medieval and Renaissance alchemy. It contains the idea later popularly summarized as above, so below. The suggestion that patterns operating in the heavens may also operate on Earth. That the larger reality and the smaller reality reflect one another. That transformation in one realm may correspond with transformation in another. But the longer work explored through Billy Carson's compendium is different. It is known as the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. This text contains 15 tablet sections involving Atlantis, Thoth, cosmic beings, spiritual initiation, hidden knowledge, life, death, time, prophecy, and the evolution of human consciousness. Within the mystical narrative, these tablets are presented as incredibly ancient writings from Thoth. Historically, the text enters the modern esoteric world through Maurice Doreal in the 20th century. Why does this distinction matter? Because discernment matters. We can appreciate the symbolic power of a teaching while still being honest about its historical background. We can explore the ideas without pretending every claim has been scientifically or archaeologically verified, and perhaps that is exactly the mindset these teachings demand, not blind belief, not automatic rejection, but conscious investigation. The first tablet introduces the central figure of the entire teaching, Thoth, the Atlantean. Within the tablet tradition, Thoth describes himself as coming from Atlantis, a civilization possessing advanced knowledge and spiritual understanding. After the destruction of Atlantis, he travels to the land that will become Egypt, bringing wisdom from the lost world into a new age of humanity. Symbolically, this first tablet is about more than a lost continent. It is about the preservation of wisdom through collapse. Civilizations rise. Civilizations fall. Empires disappear. Technologies are forgotten. Libraries are destroyed. But certain ideas survive because they are carried forward by those who understand their value. In this sense, Thoth represents the guardian of knowledge, the person who remembers what matters when the world around them is changing. This is especially relevant today. We live in a world transforming at extraordinary speed. Artificial intelligence is changing employment and creativity. Digital technology is changing human attention. Financial systems are evolving. Information is everywhere, but wisdom remains rare. The lesson of the first tablet is that knowledge alone is not enough. A civilization can become advanced and still collapse. A person can become informed and still live unconsciously. Real advancement requires wisdom, discipline, responsibility, character. Atlantis, in this reading, becomes a warning to the modern world. A society that develops external power without internal mastery may eventually be destroyed by the very power it creates. The second tablet introduces one of the most mysterious concepts in the entire tradition, the Halls of Amenti. Within the mystical story, the Halls of Amenti are hidden beneath the earth, connected to spiritual guardians, renewal, initiation, and the mysteries of life and death. To a literal reader, this may represent an actual hidden chamber. To a symbolic reader, Amenti may represent something internal. The hidden chamber of consciousness. The place inside every human being where transformation occurs. Think about the moments that changed you most deeply. A major loss, a heartbreak, a failure, a spiritual awakening. A period where your old identity no longer worked, but your new identity had not yet fully emerged. Those moments can feel like descending into an inner chamber, a place of darkness, silence, confusion, but also renewal. The Halls of Amenti symbolize the process through which the old self dies, and the higher self is born. Every transformation requires the death of something, the death of an excuse, the death of ignorance, the death of destructive habits, the death of a smaller identity. The tablet asks a powerful question. Are you willing to enter the hidden chamber within yourself and confront what must change? Because awakening does not happen only through reading books or collecting information. Awakening begins when a person becomes willing to transform. Tablet 3 is called the Key of Wisdom. And here, the teaching becomes direct. There is a difference between information and wisdom. Information tells you what exists. Wisdom teaches you how to live. Information can be memorized. Wisdom must be embodied. A person may read about discipline but remain undisciplined. A person may study consciousness but continue living unconsciously. A person may speak about higher vibration while remaining controlled by jealousy, anger, fear, and ego. The true key of wisdom is not simply discovering secret knowledge. It is allowing knowledge to change your behavior. In the spiritual worldview of the tablets, darkness is not merely something external. Darkness is ignorance. It is confusion. It is the state of being ruled by unconscious impulse. And light is knowledge applied through awareness. You do not defeat darkness by arguing with it. You defeat darkness by bringing light into it. A confused mind becomes clearer through study. An undisciplined life becomes stronger through routine. A fearful person becomes courageous through action. The key of wisdom is the recognition that your liberation begins when you stop blaming the outside world for every limitation and begin developing the inner power to respond differently. Wisdom is not what you know. Wisdom is what you become. Tablet 4, The Spaceborn, expands the story beyond Earth. In this part of the tablet tradition, humanity is connected to forces, beings, and realities larger than the physical world we ordinarily perceive. Billy Carson often explores the idea that human origins, consciousness, and ancient civilizations may be connected to a much wider cosmic story. Whether understood literally or symbolically, the central message is profound. Human beings are not separate from the universe. Your body is made from elements formed in stars. Your life exists inside the same cosmic system that creates galaxies, planets, oceans, and biological life. You are not standing outside the universe looking at it. You are the universe experiencing itself through consciousness. That idea can transform how a person lives. If we believe we are isolated, accidental, and disconnected, life may feel meaningless. But if we recognize ourselves as part of an immense living reality, then our choices take on greater importance. The Spaceborn teaches humility. The Earth is not the center of all reality. Humanity may not possess every answer. Our senses may reveal only a fraction of what exists. But the tablet also teaches dignity. You are not insignificant simply because the universe is vast. You are part of that vastness. You carry within yourself the capacity to observe, question, imagine, create, and awaken. Tablet 5 introduces the dweller of Unal. Within the narrative, Unal is connected to Atlantis, and the dweller represents a higher being or advanced intelligence guiding spiritual development. At a symbolic level, the dweller can be understood as the higher principle within every person. The part of you that knows when you are betraying your purpose. The part of you that recognizes truth before your ego tries to explain it away. The part of you that wants something higher than distraction, addiction, conflict, and fear. Most people experience two forces inside themselves. One force seeks comfort, instant gratification, and avoidance. The other seeks growth, purpose, and alignment. The lower self asks, what is easiest right now? The higher self asks, who am I becoming through this choice? The dweller of Unal can be seen as the inner guide calling humanity upward. Not through force, not through punishment, but through awareness. Every day, your life is shaped by which voice you follow, the voice of immediate impulse, or the voice of long-term evolution. The great spiritual battle is not somewhere outside of you. It is happening inside every decision. Tablet 6 is called the Key of Magic. But magic in this context should not be reduced to fantasy or stage illusion. The deeper idea is that consciousness, intention, sound, thought, and disciplined will may influence the way human beings experience reality. Words are a form of power. A single sentence can encourage someone to continue living. A single sentence can destroy a relationship. A repeated belief can build a future. A repeated belief can imprison a mind. Your attention is power. Whatever you constantly focus upon becomes stronger in your internal world. Your habits are power. Whatever you repeat eventually becomes your identity. Your imagination is power. Every technology, business, work of art, and human achievement existed first as an idea inside someone's mind. From this perspective, magic is not about escaping natural law. It is about understanding the laws of mind, emotion, intention, and action. This is also where discernment becomes important. Spiritual language should not be used to make scientific claims without evidence. Thinking positively does not replace work. Visualization does not replace responsibility. Intention without action becomes fantasy. But intention aligned with discipline can transform a life. The true key of magic is realizing that your mind is always creating patterns. The question is whether you are creating consciously or unconsciously. Tablet 7 introduces the Seven Lords. Within the mystical narrative, these are cosmic intelligences or governing forces connected to universal order. Symbolically, the number 7 has appeared throughout human spiritual traditions. 7 days, 7 visible classical planets, 7 stages, 7 heavens, 7 energy centers in later spiritual systems. 7 often represents completion, order, and structure. In the tablet tradition, the Seven Lords suggest that reality operates through law, not chaos alone. There are patterns governing movement, cycles governing nature, consequences governing action, principles governing growth. Even your personal life follows patterns. Your thoughts create attitudes. Your attitudes influence decisions. Your decisions create habits. Your habits create results. Your results eventually become your life experience. The seven lords can therefore symbolize the laws we cannot escape, simply because we refuse to acknowledge them. You cannot repeatedly neglect your health and expect unlimited energy. You cannot repeatedly waste money and expect lasting wealth. You cannot repeatedly feed fear and expect inner peace. You cannot repeatedly avoid growth and expect transformation. The universe may be mysterious, but life also responds to principle. And the person who learns to live according to higher principles begins to experience greater order within themselves. Tablet 8 is called the Key of Mysteries. Human beings have always been drawn to mystery. Ancient temples, lost civilizations, hidden chambers, secret texts, stars, death, consciousness, the origin of existence. But one of the greatest lessons in spiritual philosophy is that mystery is not only located in distant ruins or hidden manuscripts. Mystery exists within you. Why are you conscious? Why do you experience emotion? Why can music move you? Why do dreams feel so real? Why do certain moments seem to awaken something deeper inside you? Why do you feel a hunger for meaning beyond material success? The Key of Mysteries suggests that the seeker must eventually turn inward. External knowledge begins the journey. Inner understanding completes it. It is easy to become fascinated by hidden knowledge while avoiding the hidden parts of yourself. Your fear, your insecurity, your pride, your wounds, your potential, your unclaimed responsibility. The person who wants to uncover the secrets of the universe must also become willing to uncover the truth of their own character. Because the greatest mystery is not whether ancient beings once walked the earth. The greatest mystery is what kind of being you are becoming right now. Tablet 9, the Key of Freedom of Space, speaks to the possibility of moving beyond ordinary limitations. In the mystical language of the tablets, this can involve travel beyond the physical body, higher dimensions, and expanded consciousness. For some, this may be read as literal spiritual travel. For others, it may represent mental liberation. Because one of the strongest prisons human beings experience is not made from stone. It is made from limitation. The belief that you cannot change. The belief that your past defines your future. The belief that fear must control your decisions. The belief that you are permanently trapped by circumstance. Real freedom begins internally. A person may be physically free but mentally imprisoned by resentment. A person may have opportunities but remain trapped by self-doubt. A person may possess resources but still believe they are powerless. Freedom of space can symbolize expanding beyond the boundaries of the identity you have accepted, not through denial, not through fantasy, but through disciplined expansion, learning new skills, changing harmful patterns, building spiritual awareness, developing financial intelligence, creating instead of only consuming, choosing a larger life. The tablet invites us to remember that many boundaries are strengthened by repeated belief, and when belief changes, new movement becomes possible. Tablet 10 is the Key of Time. Time is one of the greatest mysteries of existence. We measure it constantly, seconds, minutes, years, ages. But what is time? Is it simply the movement of matter? Is it a dimension? Is it a perception of consciousness? Is it a river moving forward, or are past, present, and future more deeply interconnected than we understand? Spiritually, time carries one unavoidable lesson. Your life is finite in its present form. Whatever your beliefs about consciousness or life after death, the current version of you has limited days, limited mornings, limited opportunities to speak, create, forgive, build, learn, and love. Many people live as though purpose can always be postponed. One day they will begin. One day they will change. One day they will create the business, write the book, repair the relationship, build the discipline, study the mystery. But time continues moving. The key of time is not merely about understanding cosmic dimensions. It is about respecting the value of your present life. What you repeatedly postpone may become what you eventually lose. The person who understands time does not become frightened by it. They become intentional. They recognize that today is not a rehearsal. Today is part of the creation. Tablet 11 brings us to one of the most recognizable Hermetic ideas, above and below. The idea that different layers of reality reflect one another. The larger system may be mirrored in the smaller system. The outer world may reflect the inner world. The universe contains rhythm, cycles, pattern, and relationship, and so does human life. The cosmos moves through cycles of formation and dissolution. Human beings move through cycles of growth, collapse, and renewal. Nature requires balance. So does the mind. A neglected inner world often begins to show itself outwardly. Through unhealthy relationships, through impulsive choices, through burnout, through disorder, through patterns that seem random until we look honestly at their source. This does not mean every hardship is caused by someone's thoughts. People face real injustice, illness, loss, and circumstance beyond their control. But it does mean that the state of our inner life influences how we respond to the world. An undisciplined mind can turn opportunity into chaos. A centered mind can turn hardship into strength. As above, so below. As within, so expressed. The teaching asks us to examine what kind of internal universe we are building each day, because eventually, what we repeatedly cultivate within ourselves begins shaping what we are capable of creating around us. Tablet 12 explores the law of cause and effect and the key of prophecy. Cause and effect may be one of the most important teachings in the entire sequence. Every action creates movement. Every decision places energy into a direction. Every habit plants a seed. Prophecy, in this symbolic sense, may not always mean predicting supernatural events. Sometimes prophecy is simply the ability to understand patterns clearly enough to see where they are leading. If a person constantly overspends, the future becomes more predictable. If a society develops powerful technology without ethics, the future becomes more dangerous. If an individual trains every day, studies every day, and improves every day, the future begins changing before results are visible. Cause creates effect. Effect reveals cause. Many people want a different future while repeating the same causes. They want peace while feeding conflict. They want wealth while avoiding financial discipline. They want strength while choosing comfort. They want awakening while refusing self-examination. The key of prophecy is pattern recognition. It is the ability to ask, where is this road leading? Where will this belief take me? Where will this habit place me in 5 years? What future am I quietly creating through what I repeatedly do today? To change the effect, change the cause. To change the destination, change the direction. Tablet 13 confronts the greatest mystery of all, life and death. Human beings have feared death since the beginning of recorded history. Religions, mystery schools, burial rites, philosophies, and spiritual teachings have all attempted to understand what happens when the physical body ends. Within the tablet tradition, life and death are connected to consciousness, transition, and the possibility that existence continues beyond physical form. Whether someone accepts that literally is a matter of personal belief. But symbolically, the keys of life and death speak to something everyone experiences. Life is filled with endings. Identities end. Relationships end. Phases end. Dreams change. Versions of ourselves dissolve. Yet, new life frequently grows from what has ended. The career loss that forces a new purpose. The failure that creates maturity. The heartbreak that teaches self-respect. The collapse that forces a person to rebuild with greater wisdom. Death and rebirth are not only events at the end of life, they are patterns within life. The question is not merely whether you will face endings. You will. The question is whether you will allow endings to become initiation. Whether you will allow loss to deepen you rather than destroy you. Whether you will recognize that transformation often begins when something old can no longer remain. In the version of the tablet sequence used within this esoteric tradition, Tablet 14 is titled Becoming Thrice Great. This title connects to the figure of Hermes Trismegistus, whose name means Hermes the Thrice Great. Symbolically, becoming thrice great may represent mastery across multiple levels of being: body, mind, spirit, action, understanding, consciousness. It is not enough to awaken intellectually while your habits remain destructive. It is not enough to seek spiritual insight while neglecting practical responsibility. It is not enough to develop material success while remaining empty within. True greatness requires integration. The physical self must be cared for. The mental self must be trained. The spiritual self must be nourished. The individual must become whole. This may be one of the most valuable lessons in Carson's wider interpretation of the tablets. Higher knowledge is not about escaping ordinary life. It is about bringing greater awareness into ordinary life, into your work, your finances, your health, your relationships, your choices, your purpose. To become greater is not to become above others. It is to become more fully responsible for the consciousness you carry into the world. The final tablet is called Secret of Secrets. After all the imagery, all the mystery, all the cosmic language, all the hidden chambers, ancient civilizations, and spiritual laws. What is the final secret? Perhaps the secret is that the seeker was always part of the mystery being sought. Human beings often search outside themselves for a power capable of changing their lives. A hidden book, a secret teaching, a lost civilization, a teacher, a revelation, a sign. But no teaching can transform a person who refuses to apply it. No tablet can create discipline for you. No mystery can replace your choices. No ancient wisdom can save you from habits you are unwilling to confront. The secret of secrets may be that knowledge becomes real only when it awakens consciousness. The tablet is not simply an object. It is a mirror. Thoth is not merely a figure from a mystical narrative. He is the symbol of the wisdom-seeking mind. Atlantis is not merely a lost civilization. It is the warning of knowledge without maturity. Amenti is not merely a hidden chamber. It is the inner place where transformation happens. Magic is not merely supernatural power. It is the focused use of thought, word, intention, and action. Time is not merely a dimension. It is the limited opportunity you have to become what you were meant to become. And the secret is not merely somewhere above you, it is also within you. Billy Carson's Compendium of the Emerald Table.